Welcome back to another episode of 40 Facts About the 40K Universe. I am your host Gershwin and you are watching OneMindSyndicate. Today we continue talking about the worlds of the Imperium as we get into the pleasure worlds. If you're new to the channel, subscribe. We post Warhammer 40K content every single day, and if you enjoy our content, thank our patrons on Patreon. It's because of them that we can create these videos. If you want to support, link is in the description. But with that said, let's get into 40 facts on the Imperial Pleasure Worlds. An Imperial Pleasure World, also known as a Paradise World, or sometimes as a Garden World, is a planet used as a playground for the Imperial nobility. They tend to be outstanding natural beauties, with a population dedicated to pampering the important Imperial visitors they often receive, such as members of major noble houses, members of the Novice Nobilite, planetary governors, confessors and cardinals, Imperial commanders, rogue traders, and even wealthy captains. Pleasure worlds are often very cultured places, and many have huge proportions of their population dedicated solely to producing works of art, music, or other forms of entertainment. Casino complexes, opulent restaurants, and huge ballrooms are often found in such worlds. Pleasure worlds hold a unique position within the Imperium, in that they are one of the few kinds of planets with minimal technological development. Tides from these planets are often lower than usual or entirely non-existent, as many are lightly populated and may have no readily available resources. Instead, pleasure worlds offer the Imperium a multitude of idyllic settings, ranging from recuperative locales to private estates in exchange for protection. They are tranquil environments, though some worrisome considerations still dangle like loose threads on a beautiful tapestry. Some are rumored to have been ancient terraforming experiments from the dark age of technology and could be unstable. Others are believed to be rediscovered after abating warp storms, and so could disappear again without warning. Still more are thought to be the lost homes of alien species, and woe to any living there should the Xenos return or reawaken. The vast majority of pleasure worlds are named for their unparalleled beauty and largely undeveloped surface. Though they have all the amenities the Imperium has to offer, they do not sacrifice the peaceful surroundings to accommodate more people. Many of these worlds are places of refuge or respite, while others are monasteries or training facilities. Regardless of their use, the basics of living engender the development of mindsets or lifestyles that support what the world delivers. Healers develop new methods to aid the afflicted. Scholars and priests research or meditate on their text relics. Even some of the martial orders have recognized the need for contemplation and reflection to better hone their impressive combat skills. Each of these outlooks, as well as many others, develop into a microculture that essentially becomes a commodity of the planet. Compared to the majority of other planets in the Imperium, pleasure worlds move at a different pace. While not necessarily slower in speed, the sense of urgency, or in some cases panic, found elsewhere rarely exists here. On most of these worlds, value is placed on being thorough and contemplative in all actions, weighing all possibilities and seeking the best from those available. Most natives have a relaxed flow to their lives, usually due to the methodical planning and preparation. Since there is often very little internal or external conflicts on these worlds, major changes in their schedules or plans seldom occur. Though most of these planets are firmly part of the Imperium, others are privately owned or cater to other clientele. These worlds are often on the fringes of lawful sector authorities and can exist outside the blessings of Terra. Those living here might hold much more relaxed views concerning Imperial law, and lifetime of dealing with rich and powerful can hone their social skills to preternatural levels. Though the mindset of the community determines much of their behavior, many pleasure world natives exude an almost eerie and unearthly sense of calm. They are for the most part methodical, but approach problem solving in a more holistic way, utilizing both hard analysis and intuition to complete their objectives. They sometimes constitute some of the Imperium's finest envoys and orators, having an innate ability to put people at ease and connect with other. Pleasure worlders are open and expressive people, but are equally skilled at keeping their emotions under control temporarily to achieve necessary goals. They do not relish this, however, and most make a point of finding a way soon after to process the emotional content before it finds a new, unhealthy way to manifest. With these skill sets, pleasure worlders make exceptional military analysts, healers, and diplomats throughout the Imperium. The Adeptus Administratum frequently recruits from these worlds, and though the tides of psychers are normally low on these pleasure worlds, the quality of the recruits from these planets ensures that very few of them escaped notice from the Scholastica Psychana. The Adeptus Ministorum has also found exceptionally talented scholars and priests on these planets, and often maintains permanent bases there to find new clergy. Rogue traders who frequent such worlds often take the finest to become part of their crews, where these skills and calm decision-making can aid in negotiations. One of the most well-known and documented Imperial pleasure worlds was the world of Wrath. Historically, the Imperial pleasure world of Wrath has been entirely dependent upon its reputation as a paradise world, consisting largely of golden islands scattered across a shallow, warm turquoise sea. Its climate and environment are said to be perfect for soothing and rejuvenating the tired and troubled mind. For over 1,000 standard years, the planet's hereditary monarchs traded off this reputation, until the Dakal family staged a successful coup 2 centuries ago. The Dakals, a mid-ranking clan of Imperial nobles, brought a new, more severe interpretation of the Imperial cult to the laid-back and pleasure-loving planet. The people of Wrath are scattered across thousands of islands, and most communities are very small, usually never more than a few thousand people at most. The majority of the population lives relaxed lives. They are dependent upon their fishermen, but the seas are so plentiful that they rarely need to work too hard to eke out a living. Most communities are run by a small council of elders, with taxes paid to the local Ministorum priests. The planet is not heavily mechanized, but has a relatively high level of technology, with plentiful voxcasters, hovercraft, and stun nets for fishing. The reefs of the planet are home to billions of beautiful nautilines. Nautilines resemble Terran shrimp, but are unrelated to any Terran creature. They came to their current form by convergent evolution. Nautiline of different species dominate every niche in the planet's ecosystem, but few are dangerous to man. Most are delicious, although they are notorious for decaying rapidly when out of the water. Before the current governor, the people of Wrath retained a proper respect for the Lord of Mankind, but they tended to think of him in the fairly abstract neutral terms. Wrathians were typically laid back and would rather enjoy a life of mild sin than a life of confessing over-imagined sins. While this rarely came up as outright heresy, many outsiders felt that the average Wrathian needed to have the love of the Emperor thrashed into them. Sadly for the Wrathians, this current governor agrees and firmly holds this view. While it retains its status as a favored destination for senior Adeptus Terra functionaries and Imperial nobles, it also boasts a small yet influential complex for the treatment of the mentally disordered, operated by the Orders Spitaler of the Adeptus Sororitas. This facility, the Asylum of St. Vero, based on Wrath's third largest island, treats over 1 million inmates, all suffering from a variety of mental illnesses. It is a conglomeration of hospitals, clinics, and shrines, maintained by the dutiful and dedicated sisters. Disquieting rumors persist that many of the unfortunate patients of St. Vero's asylum are in fact psychers, brought to the planet for reasons unknown. The Inquisition has on occasion sent its own troubled members to a secret bunker known as the Chapel of Blessed Peace, sited below the asylum and protected by psychic hexagrammic wards, silver seals of great potency, and a special detachment of inquisitorial stormtroopers of ancient charter. Many valued Imperial servants, whose talents are still deemed useful to the Imperium, are sent to Wrath for a period of recuperation and, in some cases, mind cleansing. And those were 40 facts on the pleasure worlds of the Imperium. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, thank our patrons on Patreon. Link in the description if you want to support. It's a simple $1 a month and it helps us create more videos for you guys. This is the type of world that you would want to land in if you ever were teleported into the 40K universe. It seems just like a regular, beach resort type of place. You have hints of Slaanesh, or the threat of Slaanesh creeping in and that kind of stuff, but that's way better than being in a manufactorum or a hive world. So yeah. If you guys have any other suggestions for other topics of Warhammer 40K or any other Imperial worlds that you guys would like us to cover, please comment down below. And thanks for everything, guys. I'll talk to you tomorrow. This is Gershwan with OneMindSyndicate signing out.
Put my freedom first in any situation. I knew I never had that much to lose. as long as